Hutchison at the 1. Gets hammered by Mosi Tatupu at the 15-yard line. So the Buffalo Bills put it in play, 1st and 10. The offensive lineup for the Buffalo Bills: Vince Ferragamo taking over for Joe Ferguson, who was sent to Detroit, and Mike Pruitt, who was acquired this week on waivers from the Cleveland Browns, will be starting at fullback in the place of Booker Moore. Offensive line, solid but not flashy. Ken Jones in for the injured Justin Cross at left tackle. 1st and 10 from the 15 for the Bills. This is Mike Pruitt, and he loses about a yard. Number 90, Toby Williams, and number 57, Steve Nelson, over to make the twin tackles for the Patriots. Their defensive line: Toby Williams on the right end, Ken Sims on the left side, and Dennis Owens, who started all 16 games last season, in the middle. Their linebackers: Tippett and Blackman on the outside, and Nelson and McGrew starting back this week on the inside, with Lippett, Claiborne, James, and Fred Marion in the backfield. 2nd and 10. Greg Bell. And he gets 5. Fred Marion getting off the bottom of the pile.
Well, you have to already see that Buffalo has come out to run the ball. They gave the ball first time to Mike Pruitt. That's quite a lot of confidence in a young player on this team, a new player on this team, and they've come right back with Bell. So they're going to try to run on this Patriot team. But boy, can this Patriot team play defense.
They really had a terrific week against the Bears. It was their offense that stalled. The Buffalo Bills now facing 3rd and 4 at the 21, with 4 wide receivers. And Ferragamo from the shotgun. Caught and a 1st down at the 34-yard line. Mitchell Brookins, the receiver. Ronnie Lippett defending. A 12-yard pickup.
Boy, that was really close to an interception. Don Blackman, number 55. You'll see how close he comes into this play. He almost makes the interception. Watch how quick he closes. Right there. Just a hand away. That's the difference in this game so far.
Will Grant, number 53, leads them out of the huddle from Milton, Massachusetts. 1st and 10 from the 34 for Ferragamo. With time to Eric Richardson, but it's overthrown at the 45-yard line with Lippett on the coverage.
Well, we talked about the predictability of the Patriots offense, but the Bills haven't had any offense either, Bob. They have not scored this year. They just haven't driven the ball well, so they have got to establish this running game early. They have got to be able to control the ball game early if they want to stay in this game.
There are only 2 teams in the National Football League that have not scored touchdowns this season: the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. It is 2nd and 10 from the 34. Play action. Raymond Claiborne behind Eric Richardson as the pass is way overthrown.
It sure was. It was way over his head. It kind of floated away on Ferragamo. If anything, he has got to throw that ball in there with a little more steam. He's trying to float it over a defender here, and you see the ball just kind of tails off and it's way overthrown. But he has got to drill that ball in there, and he's got to get some confidence early to be competitive in this game.
Patriots bring in their nickel package, 3rd and 10 at the Buffalo 34.
I say about being competitive, he has got to have that confidence because he already has 6 interceptions already this season. That's not a typical year for a quarterback.
4 wide receivers split out for the Buffalo Bills on 3rd and 10. Ferragamo to run, but only for 3.
Well, an interesting thing happened that time as we watched Ferragamo get up. There's a new rule this year about quarterbacks and the way they go down. If they slide feet first, it's a gimme, and you're not allowed to touch them. But what happened on that play, as we watched Tippett, number 56, who is probably one of their premier rushers, is that Ferragamo, in his scramble, dove for the 1st down. He was trying to get 1st down yardage, but, of course, he was short.
The other outside linebacker, Don Blackman, number 55, up to make the stop on Ferragamo on 4th and 2. John Kidd to kick to Irving Fryer, who's pushed back to his 12. Fryer out to the 34-yard line. A nice return for Irving Fryer.
51 yards on the punt.
What they did that time, Bob, is it was a 52-yard punt. He returned to 22 yards because he outkicked his coverage.
We're 3 minutes into this football game. Buffalo and the New England Patriots. There is no score.
Have you driven a
Attacked after a string of long injuries. Tupu and Collins are the running backs behind Tony Eason. And this is Tony Collins. Out across the 30 to the 32, where he's stuffed by the Buffalo defense. Jim Haslett and Eugene Marv. Marv seeing his first action this year. David.
What a story. Marv has come back from an injury. He's been out, and he's replaced Steve Madlow, number 90. He's number 54 as we look at the defensive line. And that's a good defensive line, of course, with the replacement of Don Smith to Bruce Smith. There's the linebackers, another good linebacking crew. They've got some players if they can just put it all together.
Veteran Charles Romes and Rod Hill at the corners. And this is Derek Ramsey in motion. And this is Tony Collins trying the left side and being run out of bounds. Marv and Talley along with Steve Freeman.
You know, we talked about John Hanna being the impact that he has. He is a tremendous player. I remember playing over there. He is number 73. When he comes off the ball, there is nobody in this league that's stronger. Haslett does a good job in standing him up, but John Hanna, if his leg is right, and that's what we'll have to watch today, had a torn calf muscle. It's really going to be important to see whether he can go full go. You never know what it's like until you're out there going full blast.
3rd down and 7 at the 34 for Tony Eason. Derek Ramsey with a first down and a fumble.
Oh, is this going to be an interesting call? He came down with the ball, and it's going to be interesting. He had a first down, and it's going to be wild to see whether the referees mark a first down. He had the first down when he fumbled, but the ball went back beyond the first down markers. Now comes the story whether they're going to, yes they are, they're going to mark the ball. You see Ramsey has passed the line. He has a first down. There comes the ball out. The ball rolls back out behind the first down marker. So it brings up a 4th down. There's the catch again. What a tremendous catch by Derek Ramsey. Great height, a great basketball player. And there goes the ball bouncing out behind the first down marker.
The hit was applied by rookie Derek Burrows. And now Rich Camarillo stands in his own 24 to Rod Hill. Hill pushed back to the 11. Jim Bowman down to make the solo tackle. But a penalty marker has been thrown on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be a clip. Anytime that referee throws the flag, it's a clip. A 51-yard punt. Great coverage this time. That was the difference in the first punt. They didn't outkick their coverage this time. They really got down there. Bowman, number 28, made the tackle. He really covered ground in a hurry. But this clip is going to put Buffalo way back. They're inside the 10 already, and this penalty is going to take them half the distance back.
Jim Bowman is the man that Raymond Berry said is a terrific football player. Scored as high as any special teams player they've had in last week's game against the Bears.
Well, there's something that's happened that I'm not familiar with. They brought the ball back. They're calling the penalty. Evidently, we'll watch for the referee's call. I thought it was a clip on the play.
Ineligible downfield, number 28, kicking team, illegal block during the return, receiving team, offsetting penalties, 4th down.
Well, I can't. I'm an old defensive lineman, and I'm supposed to make mistakes like that, I guess. But I did see the clip. I didn't see the lineman downfield. That penalty right there could really hurt New England because they had him inside the 10-yard line.
Well, Jim Bowman, the man who made the solo tackle in the special teams, was the man guilty of jumping the gun at the line. So Camarillo is back once again. All that was for naught. We have 10:58 left to play in the first quarter. There's no score, and Camarillo once again will punt to Rod Hill. Low driving, spiral. Hill, 15-yard line. And is slammed out of bounds by Greg Hawthorne. 47-yard punt by Camarillo that time, and an 8-yard return by Hill. So with no score and 10:47 left in the first quarter, we'll be for the man under the gun for the Buffalo Bills.
You don't want to stand close to him just in case something happens.
Two tight ends in for the Bills, Metzelars and Easton Ramson. And this is Ramson going in motion on 1st down and 10. Greg Bell gets the call. And he powers his way for about 6 yards. Fred Marion, Don Blackman. There's the Dallas jumping out in front of Cleveland on a 40-yard field goal by Raphael Septien. And Denver on top of Dan Henning and the Atlanta Falcons. A 63-yard pass from John Elway to Vance Johnson. 2nd down and 4 for the Buffalo Bills on the 29-yard line. No score. Broken play. Ferragamo trying to improvise and picks up maybe a yard. Don Blackman in on the stop.
Well, that'll sure bring your nerves to a twinge when you see your quarterback turn around and there's no one to hand the ball off. And watch this, you'll see him turn around there. There's the misdirection play. He just has to turn around and become a running back with it. And he's too valuable a person to be running with the ball.
Actually picked up a couple yards in that play. So it brings up a 3rd down and 2 at the 31.
In this situation, you almost have to go to Greg Bell. He is their premier running back here. But they come out in a shotgun formation, which is a little bit different.
Slot to the right, and they're going to throw on 3rd and 2. Incomplete. Behind the intended receiver, Anthony Hutchison, and that's going to bring a chorus of boos from this Buffalo crowd.
Well, 3rd down and 2, if you want to be predictable, you're supposed to run the ball when you have a running back like Greg Bell, number 28, but they didn't. They had a little bit of pressure. There's Ken Sims, number 77. They say he is finally playing up to his potential. He's finally getting off the ball and reading better, and he does get some pressure, and that could distract Ferragamo, that hand up in his face.
So John Kidd will have to kick it again. With 9:17 left in the first period, no score in this game here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. The Bills 0-2, the Patriots 1-1. Deep Irving Fryer at the 23. High kick pushing Fryer back to the 18. And he dives forward to about the 28. Sean McNanny on special teams coverage for the Buffalo Bills making the stop. 51-yard punt, 10-yard return. The Bills have it.
Well, what a great story, Raymond Berry. What a great talk we had last night with him as he took over an hour with us, Bob, just to kind of share his thoughts about the team. Said it was a pleasure to coach this team.
And the team, in large part, is a reflection of their coach, and that's the New England Patriots in 1985. Craig James cuts back and brings it out to about the 42. Darrell Talley in on the stop as James makes a nice move.
Great vision that time on James. He had to cut back underneath the flow. The defense on Buffalo was reacting very quickly to the ball, and he cut back underneath the flow of them and picked up about 8 or 9 yards. So it's going to bring up a good down. Right now, it's a good time to throw one out to the Stanley Steamer, you know, the number 86 first time back.
Craig James on 2 plays has accounted for almost a fourth of the New England Patriot offense. A 65-yard run and a 90-yard touchdown catch against the Chicago Bears last week. Wide open, Irving Fryer, midfield. And a first down for the New England Patriots. Martin Bayless grabs Fryer around the neck to bring him down.
Well, we talked about the predictability with 2nd down and 2 yards in the NFL. That's a favorite ploy. As the quarterback we watch here, Easton step back, throws a 26-yard strike to Fryer. This young man can really accelerate, but it's a favorite play. It's a predictable thing. 2nd down and 2 yards, you know you have 3rd down, and most NFL teams will challenge the defense and pass in that situation.
Lone back, Craig James behind Tony Eason on 1st and 10. And it is James getting the call. Inside the 35, and a marker is thrown immediately at the point of tackle. Don Smith, the right defensive end, who was a first-round pick in 1979, comes up to make the stop.
Well, that could be a crucial penalty to New England because where it's thrown, it is almost always holding. And that's what he called, and it's going to set them back considerably. This is the first time they've been over the 50-yard line for very long, isn't it, compared to last week?
That last reception by Irving Fryer.
Number 76, offense, still first down.
That's on Brian Holloway, who had surgery on his little finger earlier this week and was questionable for today's game, but is in there. That reception by Irving Fryer of 26 yards equals his career high.
Well, we can see in that picture there, the bottom of his hand, he has almost a cast molded on his fingers, where you can see it there. Look at the fingers. That's awfully hard to put. It's almost like playing with a boxing glove.
First down and 18 for the Patriots at the 45. Facing the blitz is Tony Eason, and they diagnose it with a screen to Tony Collins. Collins gets close to a first down inside the 30 at the 27. Great call.
Bob, you're right. That was a great call. Buffalo is coming with a lot of pressure on New England. New England dropped back and slipped it's called a slip screen. Now there's Holloway fighting off his player. He wants to just let him go. He'll let him go late. Now he's on the backside of the screen, so he has to protect a little bit. You can see him just pushing away. But the screen part of it was really caught Buffalo by surprise. You can see how many red shirt Patriots. There's Pete Brock, the center, number 58 out there, and you can see the yardage that they picked up with that play.
They spot him just shy of a first down. It is 2nd and 1 at the 28. James, the lone back, gets the handoff and the first down. And about 4 more after that. There's no score. We have 7 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Martin Bayless in on the stop.
I talked about the vision that Craig James has. He has some amazing statistics about him when he played in high school. I was reading a press guide, and I just could not believe that he ran for something like 2,400 yards in a high school season. So he has tremendous vision and really great acceleration, can really get off the ball. And as you said, of course, has over a quarter of their offense so far this year.
He's replaced by Mosi Tatupu, and a 1st and 10 for the Patriots at the 23 of Buffalo. And this is Tony Collins trying the right side. Without much success. Hazlitt, number 55. Eugene Marv, number 54. And Don Smith, number 74, off the bottom of that pile.
When you play defensive line in this league, like Fred Smerlis, number 76, you have got to get rid of the block. You just cannot let that blocker get the angle. Look how Pete Brock, number 58, turns Smerlis all the way around, gets position on him. That was not a good play by a very good player, Fred Smerlis.
2nd and 10 for the Patriots as the running play gets nothing. Wide receivers to both sides. Ball on the 23. Lynn Dawson goes in motion, and Eason with time to Dawson. Spinning to the 15, but shy of a first down. Jim Hazlitt, number 55, an 8-yard pickup. Hazlitt up to make the stop.
Bob, one of the things that over the years that this team has given their quarterbacks is time to throw. Of course, remember the years with Steve Grogan when he was able to run. But Tony Eason is not the great running threat that I think Grogan was in his prime. But this team is giving a lot of time for him to pick up those receivers and to pick up the secondary receivers, not the primary one, the secondary one.
Steve Grogan, who ironically 1 year ago in the 3rd game lost his starting job to Tony Eason. 1 year ago today in his 3rd game of the season against the Seattle Seahawks. 3rd and 3 for Eason and the Patriots. Going for it all, but way out of the end zone. It was intended for number 82, Derwin Williams, but it never had a chance.
Well, in contrast, he threw it out of the back of the end zone because he was well covered. But in contrast, that was a 3rd down and about 3 yards, whereas the other one was 3rd down and 2 yards. And I know we've harped somewhat on the predictability, but that's a passing down, 3rd and 3 plus. Well, I chased him enough over the years. I remember chasing him all over the field and just get dog tired, and he'd just drop the ball off.
Tony Franklin, who was 1 for 1 in the regular season, had a perfect 9 for 9 in the preseason out of the hold of Tony Eason. And he's perfect again as the Patriots go on the board. A 33-yard field goal, 4:42 left to play here in the first quarter of the New England. Pablo Bell with Dave Rowe at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. The Buffalo Bills on the short end of a 3-0 score to the New England Patriots. The drive capped off by a 32-yard Tony Franklin field goal. The man right there, 57 yards in 8 plays. And it's Anthony Hutchison and Mitchell Brookins deep, and it's Hutchison at the 4. Out to the 27-yard line, Jim Bowman making the stop. Now let's take a look at that last play, Dave, where Derwin Williams in the end zone was hit in the end zone on the pass from Eason by Martin Bayless. Some people would say that this is interference.
Well, it is interference if it happens in the field of play, and if the ball is a catchable ball. The referee that was standing right there ruled that it was an uncatchable ball, so that in other words, no penalty.
Two tight ends in for the Buffalo Bills, and Vince Ferragamo, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line, trailing 3-0. With time to Ramsey, and a nice catch. 1st down at the 41-yard line. Roland James to make the tackle for the Patriots.
Bob, that's the first ball that I've seen Vince Ferragamo throw strong. In other words, he delivered the ball strong. The other ones he was trying to float. There's the direction of the ball. You can see that it was up. It was high, but it was a forceful pass.
18-yard pickup for the Bills. 1st down for them at their own 41-yard line. Philadelphia 3-0 over Washington. Paul McFadden field goal of 42 yards in that one. This is Mike Pruitt bursting up for 5. Some more scores coming your way as games are underway. Pittsburgh over Houston 7-0. Mark Malone, a pass to Louis Lips for 25 yards. San Diego, Bob Thomas field goal, 20 yards in that one, leading Cincinnati. And Denver and Atlanta are now knotted up. Elroy, the 63-yard pass, and John Raid interception return for 38 yards. We're tied up in Atlanta. New Orleans over Tampa Bay, 7-0. Dave Wilson pass to Larry Hardy of 23 yards in that game. And Mike Pruitt battling for yardage out to the 45. Looks like he'll be a bit shy of the 1st down.
Well, here comes the big 3rd down, because it's going to be about 3rd down and 1 yard to go. Typical running down, and you've got to go this time. I would just imagine that they're going to go to Greg Bell. They have got to come to him. He is their bread and butter man in this situation.
2:56 left in the 1st quarter. Patriots lead it 3-0. Mike Pruitt, the leading active rusher in the AFC, was cut by the Browns after spending many successful years there. 3rd and 2 for the Bills. Greg Bell. And he is stopped for a 2-yard loss. Ray Claiborne and Ron Lippett, the 2 corners, and Lippett is shaken up.
He is shaken up. He looked as if he was being helped off the field. But you have to talk about this Patriot defense, how quickly they react to the ball. Now, that's what you call getting well in a hurry. He's already out back running full speed. But they react very quickly out of this 3-4 defense, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers.
John Kidd will stand at his own 37-yard line, and once again, Irving Fryer is back for the Patriots at the 10. The Bills unable to generate any offense, as Kidd is now forced to punt for the 3rd time this afternoon, with 1:56 left in the 3rd quarter. High kick. Fryer just going to let it go and watch the bounce. So it's a touchback, and the Patriots will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. Let's check in with NFL 85 and Bob Costas.
Bill, you've got to answer the call on defense. You've got to stop them. 3 downs, get the ball back inside the 50-yard line for your offense.
First down, New England inside their 5. Robert Weathers. And he is gang tackled at the 6, led by Don Smith. Bruce Smith, their #1 draft pick, the #1 pick in the NFL draft, was benched this week. First time he's not started the game since the freshman at Virginia Tech, and he says he does not want to make this a habit.
Well, John Hanna, number 373, probably one of the most forceful players that I, as a player, ever played against. You just cannot believe. Now, he's a little bit upset that they cut back inside. Look at him right there. Come on around. Follow me.
The 40,000 Bills fans in attendance urging their defense on. It is 2nd down and 8. And Weathers again. Steve Freeman, the strong safety, wraps him up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that was typically an unpredictable play right there. It's 2nd down and 10. It's almost assured passing down. Now they're going to put a lot of pressure on Easton. They're going to come after him with the blitz. They're going to run. They run 4 new linemen in here, or 4 new backs, I should say. They're going to go what they call their 6-back or dime defense, where they have 6 defensive backs, and they let their linemen really come after them. How about that score? They're back 7-7. There's Cleveland. Dallas is rallying today.
Set the end field goal and a Danny White pass to Doug Cosby for 11 yards on the score. Dallas 10-0. Patriots 3rd down and 8. Craig James stopped. So the Buffalo defense answers the call.
They certainly do, and they're very emotional on this play. Sometimes you can almost worry about those things where they said they were predictable. They can almost worry about those things, and they can try to do things that are not normal to them. I would question that call, a running play on 3rd down and 10.
That's the end of the quarter here at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The New England will stand in his own end zone, and Rod Hill just inside midfield. Jim Mario's longest is 75, and would obviously like to have one of those right here. Pressure. And a flag down in the end zone as Hill gathers it just out of bounds.
Now this could be a very interesting call. The punter cannot fake a hit. And it's going to be interesting to see whether they call it. Oh, they are going to call it a personal foul on the kicker, but the punter cannot fake being hit. That's an unsportsmanlike conduct. So let's take a peek. Maybe we can get a peek at what that was, see if he really, in fact, was hit hard enough to knock him down, because he went down just like he was shot.
The line of scrimmage was at the 13. It was 4th and 7 for the New England Patriots.
Well, we're not going to get another peek at that.
Running into the kicker, number 79, defense, 1st down.
Well, that sure helps the New England Patriots a lot. Look at him. He's over there laughing about it. He's saying, boy, did you see me fall down there?
Dean Prater was the guilty party of the Buffalo Bills, and the Patriots get an automatic 1st down out of that one. And it does not make the fans here in Buffalo very happy. But it's the Patriots' ball nonetheless. 1st and 10 at their own 13. They lead it 3-0. And the Bills stack up Craig James after a 1-yard gain. Don Smith again, whose specialty is playing the run, and he's done it very well here this afternoon.
He has. They're running at him, but Buffalo really has controlled the run today so far in this game. They're controlling line of scrimmage. You've got Brian Holloway with a bad finger, and I don't know how effective he can be. John Hanna's been off for so many weeks. Pete Brock has had a severe knee injury, and he's coming back from that. A lot of question marks up there.
Wide receivers are Irving and Fryer. Irving Fryer to the right, Stanley Morgan to the left. This is to Fryer on a look in, and he's hit by Rod Hill immediately. Looks to be a bit shy of the 1st down. Well,
there's the statistics in the 1st quarter. They don't really show a whole lot. Time possessions, nothing of. It's just been kind of a so-so 1st quarter. Neither team has really come out and controlled. Both teams have had very poor field position, which, of course, has had put a major emphasis upon those stats. Neither team has really been able to drive the ball a long way.
Just shy of the 1st down, David. It is 3rd down and less than 1 on the 22-yard line for the Patriots. Weathers and Tatupu are the running backs behind Tony Eason. And Greg Hawthorne's in motion. But Tatupu, 2nd effort for the 1st down to the 26.
Oh, you called it, Bob. It was the 2nd effort that got that 1st down. Had he not been able to lunge on that little play when he was hit, if he had stopped right there, of course, he'd have been short. The difference between the great running backs and the also-ran is their leg strength. Watch when Tatupu gets hit. If he gets hit right there and stops running, right there, if he gets hit right there and stops running, he doesn't get a 1st down. There's what makes the 1st down, the 2nd effort, the leg drive.
Broke a tackle by the #1 draft pick in the nation, number 78, Bruce Smith. And James again off the left side to the 30. Patriots desperately trying to get their running game into gear after last week's 27-yard performance against the Chicago Bears, and I'm not sure they're having such great success at it here this afternoon.
Well, they're not having great success, but they have been known for the run. In the years past, they would come out and they would drive the ball on you. They'd come down, it'd be 1st down, they'd drive for 5 yards. 2nd down, 5 or 6 yards. They just continue driving down the field. That's been their trademark, and that's what they're trying to get back to.
2nd down and 6 on the 30. Craig James out to the 34. Jim Haslett, number 55, up to make the stop, but he'll be shy of a first down.
One of the big things that they're doing right now, the Patriots, is they've come out with 2 tight ends. They've got Dawson in there, and they've got Derek Ramsey, and they're coming out with 2 tight ends trying to establish that run. And 1 back. It doesn't leave much deception to who's going to carry the ball.
One of the things that Raymond Berry talked about last night was balance. He wanted to balance his passing and his running attack. 3rd down and 1 to keep the drive alive. Mosi to Tupu, flag down. And he's close to a first down, but a penalty marker thrown in the Patriot backfield.
Well, the man who throws that is going to call a holding call. What they did is, as they pulled out, one of the defensive linemen was in good pursuit, and they reached out and tackled him from the rear. That's the call that I believe they're going to make.
One area the Buffalo Bills have definitely improved on over last week, as a matter of fact, their first 2 weeks, is the number of penalties they've had incurred against them.
And the same thing is true on the other side of the fence. The Buffalo Bills have been highly criticized because they had, 13 or 14 penalties last week.
Holding on the center. Still 3rd down.
Well, Mr. Smerla's got the best of that one. But Pete Brock is a great player. But what happened that time is Smerlas played across. Remember, we saw the play earlier where he had hooked him. That time Smerlas was across, and Pete really had no other alternative except to jump out and tackle him from the back.
3rd down and 11. Easton is 5 for 6 for 61 yards. And he's got time. Whoa! Caught, but way shy of a first down. Stephen Starring, the receiver.
Well, you said he did have time, and he certainly did. He stood in the pocket a long time. He had a lot of time. We'll see Sean McManey coming from the backside here. He was really the force on this play. Easton has a lot of time to look downfield, but you'll see Sean McManey coming from the backside just as he gets rid of the ball and taking a hit. But Stephen Starring doesn't get downfield far enough for the first down, and as a wide receiver, you have got to get first down yardage. That's a completion for 3 yards, 2 or 3 yards. That's not what you want to do on 3rd down and 11 or 12.
4th down and 10 for the Patriots. Camarillo back to punt again at his 11. Rod Hill stands at his own 30.
And I'll bet they don't run into him.
Hill on the line drive. Returnable. Looking for some blocks, but not coming up with any. And once again, a cacophony of boos from the Buffalo Bills fans. A 44-yard punt on offense. They've only managed to muster 2 first downs.
Well, Bob, you get the feeling that something's going to happen. They have got to go long to Butler or throw one of them passes to kind of loosen up these defenses. We just haven't had a long throw yet.
Play action, Ferragamo dumping it out to his tight end, picking up about 6. Pete Metzelaar is on the catch. Let's check in with Bob Costas now at NFL 85.
A week ago, the NFL admits that the Oilers lost 2 touchdowns in Washington by virtue of officials' mistakes. It almost happened to the Bengals today. Esiason to Collinsworth. He's obviously bumped over the line. The official at first makes a terrible call, no TD. But then they confer and reverse it, and it stands. Cincy 7, San Diego 3.
2nd down and 4. Thank you very much, Bob Costas. 2nd down and 3 on the 37-yard line. Eason Ramson is in motion behind Ferragamo. Greg Bell close to a first down at the 40. Andre Tippett, number 56, the Patriots defense making the stop. There's the wristband of Vince Ferragamo, David. That's where he gets his plays.
What they do is they signal in a call. Each player, the quarterback on the sideline has a wrist call, and the coach will tell him to call, say, a pass play, number 6, the 6th pass play down, and he'll signal into him, call the 6th pass play down. He looks down his wrist and, of course, confers what the coach wants.
The Bills indeed pick up a first down, their 3rd of the afternoon. 8:47 left to play in the half. The Patriots lead at 3-0. Very conservative football game so far. 40,000 fans in an 80,000-seat stadium as Ramson goes in motion, and it's play action. Ferragamo firing and connecting at midfield. Pete Metzelaar is the tight end. And it'll be close to another first down for Buffalo.
An awfully big target. Pete Metzelaar, 6'7". 6'7", 250-pound tight end coming out of that backfield, off that line. That's quite a target to throw to. I think even I could hit him. You'll see him on the top part of your screen. It's just a crossing pattern, and all he's trying to do is get into the open territory. You can see him just kind of staying in the open territory. It's a zone defense, so they have to react to the ball. And, of course, Ferragamo had a lot of time as he rolled out.
Free safety Fred Marion making a stop. Metzelaar is coming here in the trade for wide receiver Byron Franklin, who they sent to Seattle. First down for the Bills at midfield. Eric Richardson, he's away. A 24-yard pass to Eric Richardson and a nice move thrown in to the 25-yard line, and the Bills have another first down and something working.
Well, Bob, I'd rather be lucky than good sometimes, and that's what this play is. The Patriots had this play well covered. You'll see the coverage. There are two men around Richardson as he makes the catch. He just catches it in the seam. It was a well-thrown ball, and he's off to the races, and they've got a first down, and, of course, they're threatening.
First down, Buffalo outside the 25. Greg Bell. And he carries Ronnie Lippett out of bounds. And he'll be close to another first down.
One of the big things that happens in a game like this, if you allow a team that's been really kind of humiliated and defeated, if you allow them to get momentum, it can kill you. You'll watch Bell here. Now watch his leg action on right there. That looks like Walter Payton, but he's got the emotion. Look at that. He lowers his head and just about runs over Ronnie Lippett, number 42. But right now, the Buffalo team has got some emotion, and they're playing with that emotion.
Pickup of 9 for Greg Bell, 5 carries, 21 yards. 3 wide receivers. Andre Reed, the rookie from Kutztown State, at the top of your screen. Ramson and Richardson at the bottom, and Ramson comes in motion. Ferragamo flares at the Bell. First down. Touchdown. A 16-yard throw from Ferragamo to Greg Bell for the Buffalo Bills' first touchdown of 1985.
Well, it took 3 games to get it, but there he is, Greg Bell, number 28. It was a screen pass out into the flat to Greg Bell. He got behind his blockers and picked up a wall of blockers and went into the end zone.
Scott Norwood out of the hold of John Kidd. And the Bills lead it 7-3.
Film said that Buffalo will challenge, and he called them to win. And with plays like this, they may very well. A slip screen out to the flat. There's that Walter Payton shuffle. He gets a wall of blockers, tumbles in the end zone. 16-yard touchdown. It sure changes the complexion of the game. Boy, Tim Vogler really threw a good block on that, number 65.
So the Buffalo Bills finally give their fans something to cheer about. The kick to Starring at the 10. Look at this. He's still on his feet. Great return by Stephen Starring. Just outside the 35-yard line. Let's take another look at that touchdown, and we'll come back and take a look at Stephen Starring's return, but Greg Bell on the flare.
Well, there's the slip screen. You saw how quickly Bell, number 28, came out of the backfield. Now he's just looking for his blockers. There's 65, Vogler. Watch the block he throws here. Allows Bell to turn around. Almost looks like a clip, but the defender turned his back, so it's not. But the Patriots did exactly what they had to do. They had to come back, and they had to get something going on for themselves to have momentum, and they did it with Stephen Starring.
53-yard kickoff return. 1st and 10 for New England at the 37-yard line. Under pressure, Eason gets it to Tony Collins. Oh, he stays in bounds. No, they say he did step out at the 34.
Well, just when Buffalo thought they were getting the momentum, of course, Stephen Starring came back with a 51-yard return. Watch this return. He just seems to get outside of the containment. That end man on the line, number 99, has got to turn that play back in. You can see he just tight ropes down the sideline there. He's within a foot. Now, that could almost be a penalty there when the clothesline across the neck. That was pretty close to a penalty.
They officially mark it a 53-yard return for Stephen Starring. The Patriots have 2nd and 6 at the 33-yard line of Buffalo, and Tony Eason wants to talk it over. There's 6:24 left in the half. The Bills lead at 7-3, and Eason saw something he didn't like. So the Patriots will talk it over, but we'll have it 2nd and 6. 6 for New England, 6:24 left to play in the first half. The ball at the 33. Patriots trail 7-3. Derek Ramsey, first down, still on his feet, inside the 20. Charles Romes, number 26, who has 4 of his 17 career interceptions against this New England team.
Probably talked about the force that Metzler was as we watch the referees confer, but look at the target here. Derek Ramsey, 6'6", 235 pounds, and he can really run with the ball. He keeps his balance well. He's very, very strong. And a former Oakland Raider, by the way.
Illegal contact, number 25, defense, penalty decline, first down.
Penalty was on Rod Hill, who was shaken up on the play and is now out of the lineup for the Buffalo Bills. Derek Barrows is in to replace him.
Well, what he did is he hit the wide receiver in the arm with his chin, and that was the illegal contact that just about knocked him out.
All right, the clock continues to move. 6:05 left to play. Denver moving back ahead of Atlanta, 14-7 in the second period. The Eagles, still the only team in the NFL now to not score a touchdown, gets 2 field goals over Washington in the second period. 1st and 10, New England at the 17. Fryer in motion, and the end around. And he picks up about 9 on the play. Inside the 10, Charlie Romes running out of bounds on the far sideline.
A good call in this situation. The Buffalo team is reacting very quickly to the ball, and with the speed of Irving Fryer, you can see everybody coming this way to the bottom of the screen. There comes Fryer on the what they call the end around, and just about gets the first down yardage. But a good call, just trying to keep Buffalo off the tempo of the game. They're reacting very quickly to the play.
It'll be 2nd and 1 for New England at the 9. Morgan wide left, Fryer wide right. Tupu and Collins are the running backs. And Tupu to the 6. Make that Tony Collins. Ben Williams on the stop. We briefly pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WWLP Springfield.
5:16 left in the half. Buffalo leads at 7-3. The Patriots are driving. They have a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Craig James stacked up at the 4. Gang tackling. Steve Freeman and Jim Haslett leading it.
Bob, one of the things that we talked about in our pregame was whether this Buffalo team would quit or not on Case Stevenson, and I don't think they are. You can see the emotion that they're playing with. That time, 6 men were in on the tackle, and there were at least 3 or 4 men running to the play. So they have a lot of emotion right here. What New England has to do is come out, and they have to establish quickly. They have to get ahead in this team and demoralize this Buffalo team if they want to stay on top and win this game. But the longer it's close, the more trouble New England could possibly have.
2nd and goal at the 5. And again, James to throw to Tony Collins. Touchdown!
Well, just when you think it's predictable, it's unpredictable. A great call by that man, Raymond Berry, a run pass. Everybody knows the ability that both Jones and Collins have as runners. They haven't run the ball well here. They're averaging less than 3 yards. We could see the reaction of the Buffalo team quickly to the play, and he tosses a little pass over top, wide open and clear.
Play covered 5 yards. The Patriots on the board with a touchdown. Craig James to Tony Collins. Franklin out of the hold of Eason. And it's there, and the Patriots move back out on top with 4:28 left to play in the half. The scoring drive, 37 yards and 6 plays. The time of possession, 2:03. And, of course, the 5-yard pass from James to Tony Collins.
I know it's still early in this game, Bob, but this is a very big series here for both teams. If New England comes out and shuts off Buffalo right now, they could really destroy their confidence and could really quell the emotion that this Buffalo team has. If, in fact, Buffalo comes out and is able to drive the ball down the field, then they're going to keep the momentum that they've established early in this game. So it's a very big series of downs for both teams.
Well, both teams putting back-to-back drives after a very conservative quarter and a half. Buffalo driving very impressively, and the Patriots coming back on their own.
Well, and that's a good point because both the drives were fairly conservative. Of course, the one was set up by the Stephen Starring run, but both of them, they have not attacked the offense. The defense. They have not attacked their opponent's defense.
Tony Franklin will kick it in play, and Hutchison and Brookins are deep. And Hutchison will take it at the 2. Trying to break through a hole across the 20 to the 23, where he is down by Greg Hawthorne on special teams, and the Bills will go back on offense. Vince Ferragamo. Dave Rowe needs 8 yards to pass the career 10,000-yard mark.
21-yard return.
Well, you know, I still need 10,000 yards to pass that same mark.
Scores coming up. San Diego now 17-7 over Cincinnati, and New Orleans 14-3 over Tampa Bay. Buffalo Bills have a first down and 10 at the 29. Ferragamo, there's the 10,000 yards and a first down at the 45-yard line. Eric Richardson, the receiver.
And that's the first time they've gone deep on this Patriot team. It's the first time they've thrown a ball over 15 yards.
21-yard pickup for Ferragamo. He is now 7 for 10 and 100 yards.
21 yards, Ferragamo, Richardson.
Here's the pass. You can see that Ferragamo's got a lot of protection. It's a quick pass, a slant, what they call a slant pattern.
Greg Bell on the run, and he picks up maybe 1 at best. Clock continues to move with 3:38 left in the half. The Patriots lead Buffalo 10-7.
Well, here's we talked about, of course, the 10,000 yards. That's quite a milestone for a quarterback to throw, but here's the pass that gets him over 10,000 yards. As I said, a slant to the post. It's a safe pass, and it's the first time they've thrown over 10 or 15 yards.
Bills face a 2nd and 10 now at the 45-yard line. Ferragamo 7 for 10 for 110 yards and a touchdown. Their first touchdown of the year. Flares it out to Bell, looking for a block. And he doesn't get it. A good Patriot defensive coverage on that play.
That's absolutely what happened. The Patriots reacted very quickly to the screen play. What happened on the first one, they were fooled. They were all rushing the quarterback. This was a first down, and the screen really didn't draw the rush of the defensive lineman. They reacted very quickly out to it and stopped it for no yardage.
Number 38 in your picture, Roland James making the defensive play. It's now 3rd and 9 for Ferragamo and the Bills. The ball still at the 46-yard line. Eric Richardson is wide left. Jerry Butler is back after a year and a half, suffering an injury. It's wide right. Hutchison gets popped as he goes over the middle by Fred Marion. Or make that Roland James, as Hutchison knew he was in a pass pattern.
He certainly did, and that's what tests the courage of wide receivers when they come across that middle into what they call no man's land. When I was with the Raiders, Jack Tatum and George Atkinson used to say that that's no man's land because he's standing back there. You see 31 Fred Marion just level him. That's no man's land. That really tests your courage to come across there.
So the Patriot defense holds on this key series, as Dave Rowe points out, and John Kidd goes back to his 31 to punt. Irving Fryer, 6 returns, an average of 6.8. The return is on, and it's a low, wobbly kick. Fryer, definite return opportunity here. At looking for help. And he picks up about 5 on the return to the 24-yard line. Rodney Bellinger down on special teams to make the stop. 2 minutes left in the half. The Patriots out on top of the Buffalo Bills by the score of 10-7. Last week being blown out by the Jets by 39 points. The Patriots now with the lead and the ball for the first down. On the blitz, this is Stanley Morgan. Gets a block and a first down out of bounds across the 35-yard line.
Oh boy, did he wipe out one of the coaches. But let me tell you there, Coach, that was your own man, because his own man shoved him into it. That coach took quite a shot in the back. We can't tell who it is, but took quite a shot in the back to the bench. You can see here Stanley Morgan turns it up. He's just running for the flag, trying to get out of bounds. Now watch the shot that he takes, which forces him into the coach. There's the push, and there's, of course, the innocent coach standing there. Ouch, boy, and he really hit that bench. He's still down there.
There was a penalty marker thrown in that play, and it was against the New England Patriots. A holding call, but the coach is still down.
Well, if it was Kay Stevenson, we'd call that a knockout punch, but...
You had to look twice. If there was anybody that you think might be a hit along the sidelines, it would be Stevenson, the way things are going for him.
That's certainly
2-14 last year, 0-2 this year, winless in the preseason. First down and 20 for the Patriots on the 14 with 1:51 left in the half. And eluding tackles. Back across the 23. Darryl Talley makes it finally, but Craig James was the ball carrier.
Bob, as we listen to the crowd here, the emotion of the crowd is just kind of teetering. You just don't know whether they're going to support him or whether they're going to leave him. But you can see, again, they've got a lot of concern. That coach took quite a shot in the back, and we still don't have any identification as to who that is. So there's Kay Stevenson, so we obviously know it was not him.
Second down and 11 for New England at the 23. The clock continues to move here in the half. Patriots lead it 10-7 with 1:11 left. And the draw play gets nothing. Don Smith reading it out along with Jim Haslett. And now the Buffalo Bills, sensing they may get an opportunity to get their hands on the football, call a timeout.
Well, several things can happen in this situation. It's 3rd down and 10 yards. If they, in fact, do get the chance to hold that clock, they can get the ball back with good field position. And you never know, they may get a chance for a long field goal. Tony Franklin is killed. He's kicked 2 from 65 yards, and we'll be right back in a minute. That was the team doctor, so it was not a coach, in fact, that was injured. And he is up sitting on the bench, and he looks as if he's going to be all right. There's a picture of him sitting there.
He actually managed to smile a few moments ago.
There's the shot he took. Not bad, but you should have stayed a little bit lower.
Patriots 3rd and 10 with 51 seconds left in the half. Easton will operate from the shotgun from their own 24. Little inside handoff, and they get nothing. And once again, the Buffalo Bills rush to call a timeout because they're going to have their opportunity with 46 seconds left in the half.
Well, we talked about that opportunity then for them to kick a field goal. I alluded to Tony Franklin. Of course, he plays on the other team, so they don't have the problem. They can't get him, but they do have a chance if they can get the ball here. They're going to have a few seconds. They possibly throw 2 or 3 passes to get in field goal range for John Kidd, of course, number 4.
Coming up at halftime, NFL 85 with Bob, Ahmad, and Axe, and of course all the scores from action around the National Football League this afternoon.
I know. What do you think about Pete Axtell picking the Buffalo Bills today? Now, I wonder if he knew something that we didn't.
Well, let me tell you this, Dave. 8 years ago, the Buffalo Bills in the second game of the season lost Seattle by 39 points. They then played the Patriots in the 3rd game of the season, were 2 touchdown underdogs, and beat them 20-7. So there is precedent for what is out here today. So if Axe takes all the credit, that's all well and good, but there is precedent.
Well, I think you probably called Axe and told him that.
Rod Hill is deep in Camarillo to kick. 46 seconds on the halftime clock. Patriots lead at 10-7. Return of the ball at the 35. And Hill scampers out of bounds just inside the 45 with 36 seconds left on the clock. Then Ferragamo comes out to go to work. A 43-yard punt and a 10-yard return.
Well, Ferragamo has to pick up about 20 yards in this next few seconds, in this next 36 seconds, in order to get in John Kidd's range. John Kidd has only kicked a field goal this year of 34 yards. That's his longest kick, so that's only from the 17, well, excuse me, from about the 27-yard line, so it's not really that long a kick. But he has the range. He has been able to kick long ones, but they've got to pick up about 25, maybe 20, 25 yards to get in his range. Excuse me, did I say Kidd? I meant Scott Norwood. What am I saying here now? Wait a minute. It's Scott Norwood.
I knew that.
Oh, thanks,
So
there,
did
buddy.
he.
Thank you, buddy.
That's Reed going in motion for Ferragamo on 1st and 10, and it's a little screen to Greg Bell. He picks up maybe 1 or 2, but stops the clock with 29 seconds left. Bills have 1 timeout remaining and trail at 10-7.
Well, the screen pass is not going to get. They've got to come down and attack. I would look for him to go to probably Jerry Butler in this situation, because he's got the speed to get down deep. They can use their timeout and still have a chance to kick this field goal.
There's that young kid, Scott Norwood.
I wonder if his mom heard me call him John Kidd. I hate to say that. Young kid. Oh, I just picked that up.
2nd and 9. Ferragamo, far sideline to Reed, and he's out of bounds with a 1st down catch at the 44. Rod McSwain pushing him out of bounds. Andre Reed, 4th round pick out of Kutztown State in Pennsylvania. 11-yard pickup.
I know it well. The home of the famous Kutztown State Fair. Just a little tidbit of information I'll throw on you there, buddy.
I won't forget it. Bills not forced to use a timeout with the out-of-bounds play. There's 26 seconds left in the half. Buffalo trails it 10-7. With time, but incomplete behind Mike Pruitt. Larry McGrew defending on the play in Pruitt's shirt.
He absolutely was. That was great coverage. Ferragamo had no one to throw it to. He just unloaded it in an area, but he really had no one to throw it.
They used up 5 seconds, 21 left. Bills still have a timeout left. 2nd and 10 at the 44.
This is where the Patriot team has really shined this year. They have really shined in their defensive play. They can really get after the quarterback, so I would really look for them to come hard, especially Tippett.
Over the middle to Richardson. And he can't hang on. Claiborne, step and step. Penalty marker.
That is going to hurt Buffalo. It's going to probably take them, well, they may be calling a late hit here on the quarterback. Let's wait and see what Jerry Seaman, our referee, says. No, he called holding, so it's really going to hurt Buffalo. So, you know, year after year, Raymond Claiborne has got the stigma of being just the outstanding cornerback and puts so much pressure on the other cornerback.
You know, it's also interesting, Dave, about the Patriot defense.
Illegal use of hands, number 70, offense, still 2nd down.
That's right tackle Joe Devlin. The interesting thing about the Patriot defense, they're all draft choices except one, Toby Williams, and none of the players on the Patriots defense has played for another team, except, I'd say, Rod McSwain, who's in there now. But these are all New England Patriot talent pool players. 2nd down, 20, 16 seconds left in the half. Ball back at the 46-yard line. Bounces it to Greg Bell on a short hop, and that'll bring out a few boos.
Well, and it probably should bring out the boos, because that's not a play that's really going to get you yardage. He had 2 wide receivers down long, and he just didn't throw it to him. He just is not attacking the offense. He's having a good day statistic-wise, but he has got to be able to throw to the Butlers and the Andre Reeds and Eason Rames and the people that can get deep. Those statistics are somewhat misleading.
Well, to tell you the truth, Dave, he's had great statistics, or at least good statistics, for the first 3 games. And they've only put 1 touchdown up on the board. 4 wide receivers in, 12 seconds left in the half. 4th down. 3rd down, rather. And that's Reed on the catch. Great extension for a 1st down. No, they say it's incomplete.
Well, that's what he should have done the play before, because that would have been in field goal range had he made it. Now it's going to bring up a 4th down. There's only 5 seconds on the clock, and they're going to have to probably punt it now. The big decision is whether just to have a running play where he can just kind of run around so you just don't have the long punt return. I would look for them just to either drop on the ball or just try to run the ball out. But if they don't execute this play for 5 seconds, it's going to bring in Tony Franklin, the man that I said could kick so long. He kicked 2 60-yard field goals, 2 60-yard plus field goals in 1 game in college. So they have got to run this ball for 5 seconds.
Patriots going to come on this?
Absolutely. They're bringing the whole team on this one.
And the Pats take a timeout with 5 seconds left, hoping that they have their one last shot here in the first half.
Well, if they can get him now, what Ferragamo should probably do is hand the ball off to, say, Craig Bell or someone like that, or just do something where it's going to take 5 seconds, run backwards, 8, 10, 15 yards, but it doesn't help anybody's statistics, that's for sure.
So the situation is this. The New England Patriots leading at 10-7, 5 seconds left in the first half, and the Buffalo Bills with a 4th down and 20 at their own 45.
Boy, and don't you know Axe is going to be bragging in NFL 85 at halftime. I don't know how Ahmad and Bob are going to live with him at halftime over this.
Well, the job of their head coach, Case Stevens,
him to keep his job and to have some semblance of stability. This is going to be an interesting play here to see what happens.
No, they're not going to punt it. They're going with 4 wide receivers. Going for the tip play, and it didn't work.
Well, that was the long pass to use the 5 seconds up, and in case there was any interception, of course, it would have been run back. But they did use up the 5 seconds.
Well, I'm sure some New England Patriot fans had nightmares of a couple of years ago. In fact, it was the last time the Buffalo Bills defeated the New England Patriots. The Patriots have won 5 straight in this rivalry, but Roland Hooks catches a pass in the end zone that was deflected off of 4 or 5 hands in a memorable afternoon in the fog in Buffalo, and that one smacked.
Are not indicative of either team dominating. 140 yards, 156 yards, no real domination there. Both teams are waiting for something to happen, kind of a little bit tentative. Yeah, and there have been no turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions, and you just get the feeling that something big is going to happen anytime.
Eason on 1st down. Pryor intercepted by Rod Hill. There is a penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage, and it is against the Buffalo Bills.
If this is called for roughing the passer, it is really going to hurt the Buffalo Bills. They did an excellent job of rushing the passer on the play, but they should not rough the passer. You just can't do that and consistently win football games. Although they are bringing the ball down here to where he intercepted the ball.
The preliminary signal back at the line of scrimmage was holding against Buffalo.
What is it, Mr. Seaman? Tell us.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 74, intercepting team. It will be 1st and 10. What the hell did he do?
Well, that's what they call a post-possession play. When he intercepted the ball, somebody took a kind of a little late shot or a cheap shot on someone on the Patriots, so they are going to retain the ball. But of course, it's just like a punt inside the 20-yard line, so it's really not that bad for the Patriots.
Tony Eason shaking his head in disbelief. Don Smith was the guilty Bill. They trail 10-7, 14:42 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Greg Bell cutting back across the 15. Dennis Owens, the nose tackle. Let's go back and take a look at the interception by Rod Hill.
Whenever there's an interception, the first thing you want to do is get a shot at the quarterback. Now, let's see 74 here. He's the one that's all we're going to see, but that's the play. He's the one that came around after the interception and struck Tony Eason to draw the penalty. But what happened that time is that Fryer just outran the arm of Tony Eason. That was a long throw. That ball covered almost 60 yards in the air.
2nd and 8 for the Bills at the 16-yard line. Pruitt and Bell are the backs behind Vince Ferragamo. And former Brown Mike Pruitt on the call with nothing working whatsoever. Steve Nelson, number 57, with a stop. And once again, the natives are getting restless.
Well, they want to score. They certainly do. They want to score. But, boy, there's a player, number 57. Steve Nelson has been out there for about 12 years now and still plays with the same tenacity that he did 10 years ago. I've always been a great admirer of his ability, a real leader on that defense.
Another player the Bills picked up this week, former Buffalo Bill and a member of the Electric Company, Joe DeLamalure, one of the key blockers for O.J. Simpson in those years. And now Ferragamo with a 3rd down and 7 on the 18-yard line. Heading for Brookins. In and out of his hands. Roland James and Jim Bowman down on coverage.
Well, Ferragamo, both quarterbacks are kind of loosening up in this second half. Evidently, they came in, they've regrouped, and they just said, look, we've got to attack more. We've been too conservative in the first half. We've got to throw the ball downfield. Now, what that does is that allows your defensive secondary to have to play a little bit deeper, so then you can complete the underneath passes, the short ones to your tight ends and to your running backs coming out of the backfield.
Speaking of O.J. Simpson, Dave, you played in a defense that managed to hold him to 250 yards in one game, and then in a blizzard, you really came out and held him to 220.
We really played a lot better that second game. We held him to 220 yards rushing.
That was in a blizzard, though.
That's right.
Fryer backpedaling into 26. Slipping through tacklers to the 36-yard line. Dale Halestra making the stop.
Bob.
13 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. The Patriots over the Buffalo Bills. New England on their own 35. They lead it 10-7. John Hanna has started and gone all the way. Eason on a square out. It's short for Stanley Morgan.
Bob, I want to clear up something on that O.J. Simpson call. Now, when we were playing up here, of course, it snowed about 8 inches during the game, and I can remember our coach out there, who was really an intense person, yelling, see what kind of shoes he's got on, because he was the only person who could stand up in that day. And he did. He ran for 220 yards against us, and, of course, that was the year he went 2,003 yards. Now, I want to ask you something. What is that? It looks like, is that a helmet holder? Or
it's like a spare to me. In case he loses one out there, you can always flip on the second one. 2nd and 10, under pressure, jumping it off. Excellent defense. Martin Bayless covering Tony Collins, but all over him.
That was a great coverage by Bayless. He really picked him up coming out of the backfield. But what pressure on right here? You can see Easton's just trying to get rid of it. And look at that hit by Bayless. He was right there. That was Bruce Smith, who's been under a lot of bad press or a lot of criticism about not being able to play the run. Of course, he was the #1 draft choice in all the draft.
Kenny Sims knows what that's all about. He's been under pressure for 3 years. He said, what is it with defensive linemen, #1 picks? They all expect too much of these guys.
They certainly do, and it all depends what type of system you come from. If you come from a run-oriented system in college, it's hard to become a pass rusher.
3rd down and 10 for Eason for the screen. And it's there, and it's complete, but it's a loss of 4 yards. Oh, the Buffalo Bill defense has risen to the occasion, urged on by their fans. And they'll get the ball back with 12:48 left to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, we talked about the emotion. You can see the emotion starting to build back for the Buffalo team. If you're a New England fan or a New England player, you have got to take that emotion out of this team. They are a team that's been embarrassed. They've got nothing to lose out here today. And that emotion, as it swells, it'll cause you to play to much greater heights than what you're capable of playing.
Mosi Tutupu, the special teams captain, calling the signals. Rich Camarillo back to punt. Is he a threat to run?
I don't think he's much of a threat to run. Not Camarillo, by the way.
Rod Hill at the 20. Beautiful driving kick. And Hill at the 15. Reversing his field. Penalty marker thrown as Hill gets to the 24-yard line. Jim Bowman again down on special teams tackle.
Jim Bowman really has the speed to get downfield. As we watch Jerry Seaman, he's going to come up and give us the call here. He's our head referee. I believe it's going to be a clip. From where that flag is thrown, that is almost always an illegal block or a clip.
Punt was 51 yards and the return of 9 by Rod Hill, who has 1 interception here this afternoon, the only turnover in this football game.
This again is going to put a lot of pressure on the Buffalo team because they're going to be back inside
Illegal
the 20-yard.
block. Number 55, receiving team during the return.
Yards
First
on
down.
Jim Haslett. Outstanding inside linebacker. We're in the third quarter. The Patriots lead at 10-7, but the Bills are back on offense. Bills up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 at their own 14, and Ferragamo to put it up. Caught by Andre Reed. Pickup of 8 yards. Toby Williams downfield to make the tackle, along with Larry McGrew. Number 50, McGrew.
Bob, that play's an often overlooked play, but if you said the right thing there, Toby Williams, number 90, who came back on the play. The first thing a defensive lineman has to do is he has to rush the passer. As soon as that ball is thrown, he has to turn and run to the pass, and that's what he did that time. As soon as the ball was passed, he turned and ran and caught him coming across the game. That's a great play by a young player.
Toby Williams, a 10th round pick in 1983. The real story there was a walk-on at Nebraska. Flare out to Andre Reed. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, it's a catch and a first down. Lippert on the coverage. Toby Williams, a walk-on at Nebraska. And his brother Jimmy was a first-round pick of the Lions back in 1982. He was also a walk-on at Nebraska.
Well, they walked on in the right direction, I'll tell you that.
11-yard pickup on the pass from Ferragamo to Andre Reed.
I was watching that pass to Reed, and I didn't even know if he came down with both feet. And of course, the controversy with the Houston game this past week with the both feet down. Very, very tough call.
First down, Bills. Good field position at their 34. Stop and go to Reed. It is a catch and another first down. Roland James and Ronnie Lippett. A 21-yard pickup, but a penalty marker is back in the Buffalo backfield.
Well, the biggest play that will hurt an offensive team is to have a holding call or a penalty flag when you just get a big play, just like they did. Now this actually, even though it's only a 10-yard penalty, it's really about a 35-yard penalty because it takes away the 25-yard gain that you just had. It adds 10 yards deep back, so now you've got a facing a second down and 20-yard situation, and that really hurts. You might be able to see the hold right there on, I believe it was on Will Grant, number 53. But there's the feet both down in, and you can see it's a 25-yard penalty. It's not just a 10-yard penalty.
11:24, third quarter. Patriots lead at 10-7. Buffalo first down and 20 at their own 24. Metzelars drops it. Take a look at what's going on around the major leagues. The pennant races in baseball. Pirates leading the Mets, and the Cardinals also losing. Milwaukee, Toronto, the Yankees revived a bit, leading Baltimore. And those other two games have not started.
That's the ball that doesn't have the points on the end, isn't it? That's the round one, the little tiny one that they throw.
Spear.
Spear.
Second down, 20 at the 24 for Buffalo. That's Reed in motion. Inside to Mike Pruitt. And he snakes his way out to the 30-yard line. Steve Nelson out of North Dakota State. A two-time Pro Bowler. He went in 1980 and he went in 1984. And he's the captain of their defense and a terrific guy.
He certainly is, and he's the one that has the momentum. He's kind of the John Hannah on defense.
Jerry Butler checks in the game on third down and 14. Wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. Well, it's third and long at their 30.
This is a down that the Patriots defensive linemen just love. Third down long, and here they come.
Caught. Chris Burkett at the 40-yard line, but he'll be about 4 yards shy of the first down. Fred Marion on the coverage, number 31. Burkett last week, Dave, had the misfortune of having 2 perfectly thrown balls bounce off his shoulder pads and into the hands of the New York Jets for interceptions.
And you know who takes the blame for that? The quarterback. He gets it recorded as a sack, and it's the same as if you threw it right straight to the defender.
Here's John Kidd, as long as 55 today, and he'll stand in his own 25 with Fryer back as a lone safety at the 14. 9:57 third quarter. Patriots lead at 10-7. Great kick by Kidd. Woo. Fryer at the 7. And only out to the 14. Hal Garner, number 99, with the sure open field tackle.
Well, a decision has to be made there by the receiving team whether they want to field that. Now, there is a flag on the play, so we'll have to wait and hear. I think it's going to be an ineligible man downfield. Yes, that's what he signaled, ineligible man downfield. But you're not supposed to catch the ball inside the 10-yard line. That's kind of a written rule for the receiving team, and Fryer did that time. Of course, it was a low kick, so he thought he had a chance for a return, but it always inevitably gives your offensive team a poor field position to come from the 13 or 14-yard line.
Ineligible downfield, number 21, offense, still 4th down.
Patriots catch a break there, Dave, as they caught a break on the last Buffalo penalty. And the Bills reverting to their habits of last week where they had 14 flags whistled against them and now having 2 costly ones back-to-back.
That's exactly right. They're starting to be penalized. But the thing that really comes into play here, it's an insignificant penalty, a 5-yard penalty. But the position, now Fryer standing now outside the 20-yard line, so we're going to see how big a penalty this really is, because it's an insignificant 5-yard penalty, but it costs your team 30 or 40 yards in field position.
Ball at the 35. Kidd unloads again. Good hang time. Fryer at the 15. Gets a block. Gets away. Outruns Kidd. He could go. A touchdown for Irving Fryer. An 85-yard touchdown return.
That's the point that I was making, Bob. It's not the insignificant 5-yard penalty. It's what that penalty does for you. 2 things happened on that play. Irving Fryer was able to catch that ball outside the 20-yard line. They had another opportunity. The Buffalo Bills had just sprinted 60 yards down there on that play. Every one of their linemen were tired on this play. They're just not running down as hard as what they were the first time. So 2 things happened, and you can call this what you want, but to me, it's an 85-yard penalty that they just had called for being downfield, plus it's 7 points. And nobody is going to catch Mr. Irving Fryer.
Flags down on the line of scrimmage for the extra point as some frustrations on behalf of the Buffalo Bills begin to bubble over.
Now, if in fact this is on the defense, it's an interesting call, because what they do is they assess the penalty on the kick. But if it's on the offense, of course, it's marked off here.
Number 77, defense, a 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
As defensive end Ben Williams that they whistled for that penalty. An electrifying 85-yard return by Irving Fryer. And Tony Franklin out of the hold of Tony Eason. It's perfect. Irving Fryer, the 2nd longest punt return in Patriot history. They lead it 17-7 in no small measure to their special teams. Stephen Starring, a 53-yard kickoff return, and Irving Fryer, that scintillating 85-yard punt return for a touchdown. This is Anthony Hutchison at the 7. He gets away himself.
Bob, let's take a moment and look back at that return. You said it was an electrifying 85-yard return. but you can see he kicks it past his coverage. He gets outside what they call the wall. You can see all the red shirts starting to come in. He gets outside. He's down the sideline, and with his speed, nobody's going to catch him. Nobody will run him down.
It was the second longest punt return in Patriot history. The longest, Mike Haynes, 89 yards against the Buffalo Bills. On November 7th, 1976, with that punt return, Fryer moves to the 5th best overall in total punt return yardage. And the Bills sputtering an offense here at a first down.
Well, more so than the kick. The kick is really important, don't get me wrong, but this is really the test for Buffalo right now. They're down 10 points. They're in the third quarter. They've got 9 minutes left in the third quarter, and there's a man under a lot of pressure, Kay Stevenson, and they have got to come out and establish something here. Ferragamo's been in this position before. He can do it. He's got the firepower out there, and he's got the weapons. They just cannot panic, and they just cannot quit at this time. We'll just have to wait and see.
Third quarter, 8:43 remaining. The Patriots lead Buffalo 17-7. Second down and 8 for Vince Ferragamo. Square out to Andre Reed, and he's been perfect this afternoon on that particular play. Ronnie Lippett running him out of bounds, but they get enough for the first down.
Well, one of the big calls about Ronnie Lippett is that, of course, with Raymond Claiborne on the other side, that most teams pass away from Raymond Claiborne because he's such a highly respected cornerback. So that puts extra added pressure on Ronnie Lippert, who's only in his third year. And he is giving a little bit too much cushion on that play. The cushion is the distance he keeps between the wide receiver and himself on a pass play.
11-yard pickup. First down, Buffalo at their 45. That's Eason Ramson, number 87, in motion. And this is Greg Bell with a handoff and breaking it out to midfield. Tippett, number 56, the Pro Bowler from Iowa.
Bob, we talked about the team being a reflection of your coach, and I think this Patriot defensive team is a reflection of their coaches. I know Eddie Kyatt very personally, a great guy, probably one of the great teachers in this game, and he's taught these defensive linemen to come off the ball. Don Shinnick, renowned in Baltimore, played 15 years as a linebacker, and he's got these linebackers really coming and answering the offensive charges. So they are a reflection of their team, of their coaches.
Second down and 6. Little square out. It's complete to Eason Ramson for a first down. Let's check out with NFL 85 and Bob Costas.
Bob, after Boomer Esiason's second touchdown pass of the day to Chris Collinsworth ties it at 20, Dan Fouts goes to Pete Holohan with the great one-handed catch in the end zone, and the Chargers reclaim the lead at 27-20, third quarter in Cincinnati. Bob?
Real barn burner out there. The Patriots lead it here 17-7. And the Buffalo Bills have a drive working themselves with a first down at the Patriots 42. Looks like a reverse, and he fumbles the ball. Andre Reed catches a break, however, as the ball falls right in his lap.
Oh, boy, was he fortunate. Toby Williams took an outside rush, and when they came back with reverse, that's the time that you don't want to come back with reverse. You'll see it on your screen. It's going to your right, and you'll see Toby Williams, number 90, was rushing, and he almost took the handoff there. He was back in the play. There he is, number 90, and he was really lucky to get that ball back. As you said, that ball bounced back up into his hands, but of course that play cost them about 18 yards.
Well, a mammoth loss. Back to the 38, so it's now second down and 30 for the Buffalo Bills, and if there's ever a drive killer, that was it.
That is a big killer.
Square out to Mitchell Brookins, and he makes a nice grab in traffic. Just across midfield, Raymond Claiborne making the stop. Cleveland, Dallas 17-0. Rebounding, James Jones to Danny White. Option pass back to the quarterback. Pittsburgh over Houston. Gary Anderson, field goal, 39 yards. He's got 2 in that ball game. Denver squeaking by Atlanta, third quarter, 24-21. Bartkowski, a pass to Billy Johnson for that one of those touchdowns. The Eagles still have yet to score a touchdown. The only team not to do it.
But look at the score, 9-6 over Washington.
Third down, 17 at the 49. Going for Butler. What a catch by Butler. It's a first down for Buffalo.
Bob, we talked about the cushion that Ronnie Lippett is giving. He's giving too much room for his wide receivers. He's not looking back at the ball on this play, and he actually overruns it. You didn't even see him come into your play until late. He has got to play more firepower up there. He's got to play closer on that play. Of course, he's a young fella, and he's, you get a little bit worried about the speed of some of these wide receivers, so you kind of give them a little more honor or a little more distance, but he's got to come up. And that's a play, a quarterback's where you live or die. You can become a hero or a goat in a hurry.
A 19-yard pickup. Terrific catch by Jerry Butler. First down for the Bills to Greg Bell with a blocker in front. And another first down inside the 20. A 12-yard pickup stopped by Larry McGrew.
Well, the Patriots have given new life to this Buffalo team. Buffalo was just about ready to fold. They got that reverse where they didn't get any yardage. They lost 30 to 20 yards, and here they come back again with a pass to Butler, and here's Greg Bell, their inside scoring position. The Patriots only have a 10-point lead, and there's over 4 minutes left in this third quarter.
It is 17-7 New England, but a first down for Buffalo inside the 20. He stays with the pass to the corner to Brookins. Claiborne there.
That
and
is
it is an interception by Raymond Claiborne.
That's the Raymond Claiborne that we've talked about. That's the Pro Bowler, the man that has more respect in that secondary than anybody else. And you can see Kay Stevenson just about ready to throw his arms up. Why'd he throw that ball? Because he threw it in, and we were talking about Lippett not giving the cushion or giving too much cushion. That time Raymond Claiborne was just inside the shirt of that wide receiver, and he intercepted it. And we're going to have to be back in a couple minutes to see what happens with this Buffalo team.
The competition.
Football. Well, you don't go to the Pro Bowl because you have a catchy name. Raymond Claiborne has been just a stalwart back there on defense, and Ferragamo's going all the way against him. He's challenging Raymond Claiborne. You'll see him, number 26. He's got the ball. He looked like he was the wide receiver. You can see he had him just covered. Almost knew exactly what Brookins was going to do. It sure put out the fire.
Indeed it did, as two key Buffalo penalties in this third quarter helped douse the Flames as well. 3:06 left, third quarter, second down and 7. This is Tony Collins. A short gain and pushed out of bounds. Let's go back to NFL 85 and Bob Costas.
Bob, in the third quarter at Dallas, the Cowboys go with some razzle-dazzle. Off the shotgun, Danny White hands to James Jones. The defense forgets about White. He slips around the left side, wide open touchdown. Chip Banks punishes him in the end zone, but it's too late.
So White becomes a receiver and a catcher of a touchdown pass. And yesterday, Dave, when watching the Bills work out, I can tell you they also have that play where Ferragamo flares out of the backfield and takes a pass from Greg Bell. They have not obviously used it today.
Well, the quarterbacks in this game are so physical that they're really becoming weapons.
Third down and 7 for the Patriots at their own 23. Flag down and incomplete. Garrick Ramsey was the intended receiver.
I think Talley was offside again, and if that is, that's just something that this just kills the defense to give the offense another try at that third down and 7 or 8 yards. So now it's going to bring down third down 2. You see Talley, number 56 in the bottom of your screen, starts off early. That really hurts your defensive scheme.
They played an almost error-free first half, certainly following last week's 14 penalty-filled game against the Jets.
56. Defense, still third down.
They didn't have any turnovers. Then they've had 3 big penalties here in the second half, including the interception, and things have really turned sour for Kay Stevenson and the Bills now.
Well, you can see the penalty. The penalties are 60 yards in penalties, and that really does hurt. But any coach will tell you the thing that will kill an offense or a defensive drive faster than anything is a penalty. They just destroy the continuity of your team.
Third and 2. It's not so much getting the penalties, it's when they happen, too, and they've been in key situations against Buffalo. Clearing it to James, but he couldn't catch up with it. Just a little too far. And it'll bring up 4th down for the Patriots with 2:51 left in the third.
Bob, in fairness to this Buffalo team, their defense has not quit. I don't think that they've quit out there. I just feel that they're just having a tough time just really getting it all together. And things, the little things, they act just like there's Talley again, of course, number 56. He's coming hard. He's trying to make up for that last play. But the little things, when you're close and you're having problems, the little things are the big things that make the difference. The little things turn into big things, I should say.
Rod Hill is deep, standing at his 33. Camarillo had a 51-yarder today, his longest this year, 75. Sparkling 47.3-yard average. Another great one off the foot of Rich Camarillo to the 23. Hill. And Camarillo pushes him out of bounds. .238 left in the third quarter. The Buffalo Bills back on offense and trailing 17-7. A 49-yard kick and a 26-yard Rod Hill return.
Well, that just gives him a net average of 23 yards in that punt, so it didn't help the Patriots. He's got the ball almost at midfield. But if Buffalo wants to get back in this game, they have got to drive now and at least get 3 points. They're not out of this game. And there's a man right there, Kay Stevenson, who hopes that they will drive this time.
Greg Bell, and a quick hitter, gets about 4 as they move into New England territory. Steve Nelson. Tim Vogler, the right offensive guard out of Ohio State, providing the block for Bell on that particular play to the 48-yard line.
You know, when I played with Oakland, we were the first team to really play the 34 defense and go to the Super Bowl. And now most teams play that 34 defense, the 3 down linemen with the 4 linebackers. What it allows you to do is get a lot of players to the ball in a hurry. There's very rarely do you break through for the big gainer through the middle because there's so many potential tacklers.
2nd and 6 at the 48. Under pressure by Ken Sims. And Ferragamo just dumps it off. Sims is insisting he had the quarterback in his grasp, and that meant the play should have been blown dead, and he may win his argument.
I think he may be arguing also, Bob, that he grounded the ball, because it looks to me as if Ferragamo just throws the ball out. Now this may be construed as a fumble. Now that may have been a fumble. That was kind of a little sidearm pass. I don't know. To me, it looked as if he was trying to just get rid of the ball.
Of course, he had Greg Bell out there, so maybe he was going to underhand it and whip it to him. At least there was some element of doubt, but Ferragamo's now 18 for 30 for 215 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, and a big one. 3rd down and 6 at the 48. First down yardage, but incomplete, intended for Chris Burkett with Roland James on the defense for the Patriots.
The thing that's really been impressive to me about this secondary of the Patriots is that they have really covered well. Watch 38 here at Roland James. Watch how close he is to the wide receiver when the ball is thrown. Coaches talk about the closing speed. Look at that. He almost could have intercepted that ball. He closes so fast. That reaction time it takes to when the ball is thrown to get back to that wide receiver. That's the thing that really just that makes a player, so to speak.
Back in '83, James intercepted 3 Joe Ferguson's passes here at Rich Stadium. Kidd to kick it away under pressure from Don Blackman. And it's a beauty with Fryer waving for a fair catch and taking it at the 12-yard line. .36-yard punt by John Kidd. Next Saturday, NBC Sports continues its coverage of the 1985 baseball season. Some of you will see the Mets take on the Pittsburgh Pirates, while others will watch the St. Louis Cardinals battle the Expos. Our coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern with Major League Baseball and Inside Look. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting on the network of the 1985 League Championship Series.
Now, that Cardinals and Expos series is going to be a great series. That pretty much could determine who's going to win a division place.
Minute 43 left in the third quarter. Patriots lead at 17-7. And Tony Collins diving out across the 19. Guy Frazier, number 52, making the stop.
I was just going to say, do you know why I didn't play baseball? because when you're 6'8", you've got about a 5-foot strike zone, and anything that was close over the plate was a strike. I was up one time in high school, and the coach said, "Son, I think you better go out for track and football." So it ended my baseball career, but
Sound like good coaching to me.
smart coaching.
Second down and 2 for the Pats. At the 18. And Collins, first down. And breaking it across the 32. 14-yard gallop for Tony Collins, and they're starting to churn out some yardage.
Well, now's the time when New England can really become unpredictable. We talked about the predictability of their team last week. With a second down and 4-yard play, they can pass, they can run, they can do things that they normally don't do. They've got a 10-point lead. There's only 38 seconds left in this quarter, and they're going to go into the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead. So they can do things. They can trick them up.
First down, Patriots at the 34. Collins fumbles. Buffalo has the ball. Charles Romes, number 26.
Well, I hate to put a jinx on a player or a team, but just when we thought Buffalo was going to be out of this game, they come up with a big play. And all he does on this play is really just loses the handle. He just never really got the handoff. You can see the ball bouncing around there. And look how bad Charles Romes wanted that ball. That really takes some guts to dive in there and get that thing. But a big, big turnover on the 33-yard line. But you can see it. Maybe we can see it again. He just does not get the handoff, and there's the ball just bouncing around. Look at Romes go in there. Doesn't look like a quitter to me.
Second New England turnover. First fumble. They've had an interception. And it's 1st and 10 at the 33 for the Bills. Bell to throw. And now to run. First down inside the 17-yard line. Take a look at that play.
And that was the play that you called. You just called it. Vince Ferragamo drifted out into the flat, and he was going to catch the ball. But
at the end of the third quarter, the score, the Patriots 17, Buffalo 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. End zone. A 19-yard touchdown pass from Ferragamo to rookie Andre Reed. And the Bills are climbing back.
this is a big extra point they have to kick right here. This is going to put them down 3 points. So it's very, very important that he makes this kick.
Norwood out of the hold of Kidd. Yes. 14:56 left in the fourth period. 13.
Stands Scott Norwood. The Patriots lead at 17-14 with 14:56 left in the fourth quarter.
Well, for those people who didn't see that play, it was a 19-yard pass play. It was a slant pattern coming across the post. Ferragamo had all the time in the world. He completed it. It was a well-thrown ball, and it's given new life to this Buffalo team because they're only down 3 points. New England was just about ready to bury this Buffalo team when they really got new life, and they've been rejuvenated. Now they've got a fight on their hands going to this fourth quarter.
Well, as soon as we get our video restored, you can be certain you'll be seeing the touchdown pass from Ferragamo to Andre Reed for 19 yards that brought the Bills to within 3 points.
I wondered if Pete Axtell was getting a little bit nervous when New England started to pull away there. He's probably crowing again.
See, I told you. See, I knew it all
I
along.
told you.
Sure, no problem. Had the lock on this one.
Sure, Pete. That's easy for you to say back there at NFL 85.
All right, the Buffalo Bills and Norwood will be kicking off from right to left. And the New England Patriots down to our left with Cedric Jones, Stephen Starring, and Greg Hawthorne will take the kickoff. The Patriots have moved into a 17-14 lead. The Bills are hot on their trail with 14:56 left. And this crowd has been rejuvenated. The kick by Norwood. It is high, it is short, it'll be taken by Starring at the 8, to the 10, to the 15, far side 20. Looking to break it 30, 35, 36-yard line, Stephen Starring. Okay, we are going to leave this game in Buffalo for the moment and join the Cleveland-Dallas game. The Cleveland Browns and the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. We'll be back.
And as soon as we have the opportunity, we'll be showing you the Andre Reed touchdown catch from Vince Ferragamo that has made the score. New England 17 and Buffalo 14. We have 12 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the fourth period. The Patriots lead by 3 and have a 2nd and 13. From the shotgun, Tony Eason. To Stanley Morgan, but it's well overthrown.
Bob, here's the Vince Ferragamo touchdown pass. It's a 19-yard pass. You'll see from the left side of your screen, you'll see the wide receiver coming in. He has a lot of time, throws it up. It's a well-thrown ball right in the seam, man-to-man coverage with a short drop-back zone. And that's the thing that has really propelled this Buffalo team emotionally into this game. Look at that emotion there. I mean, they are playing a much different team. New England's playing a much different team than played last week and lost 42-3.
And their emotion is carried over on defense. 12.5 minutes left. Pittsburgh over Houston. Eason is 10 for 17 for 90 yards and 1 interception. He has a 3rd and 14. Morgan, incomplete. Rod Hill, who has played an excellent game at cornerback for Buffalo, and this crowd of about 40,000 rises to its feet for the Buffalo defense.
We've talked about emotion. Watch the emotion of these players. Now, when he misses the ball, watch the emotion of these players. They almost intercepted there. They're Starring. But watch the emotion of these players. Boy, they were really coming after the ball. They were jumping. Look there. That's the emotion that you play with. And that's the emotion that they have right now. They've been, as we said, a rejuvenated team. But this New England team has superior talent.
Camarillo with his 5th punt of the afternoon. 12:22 left in the fourth. Patriots by 3. Hill lets it bounce at the 9 and into the end zone. So a rejuvenated Buffalo Bill offense gets the ball and will have it 1st and 10. 12 to play in the fourth quarter. The Patriots lead Buffalo 17-14, and the Bills have the ball.
Bob, I just noticed that Raymond Claiborne's not out on the field right now. They brought in Rod McSwain, number 23. I don't know if something happened to Raymond Claiborne, but that could really hurt the Patriots.
1st and 10 at the 20. Caught by Ranson and out of bounds after a 7-yard pickup. Both teams have their full 3 timeouts. Patriots scored first on a Franklin field goal. Greg Bell with a touchdown catch of 16 yards to put Buffalo in the lead. Raymond Berry looking over his options. Craig James a pass to Tony Collins to put New England back in front. Fryer the 85-yard punt return for a touchdown. And then the catch by Andre Reed. 2nd and 3. Flair to Bell. Just getting away from Blackman and getting out of bounds after he picks up the 1st down.
What a move. Greg Bell, number 28, put on Don Blackman, number 55 for the Patriots. He is a Walter Payton type of runner. This is just a little slip pass like the touchdown pass. But watch right here. Look at that move. Boy, oh boy, that had Don Blackman just grabbing air. And he gets out to the 1st down marker. A big play for that team.
Bad news for the New England Patriots for Raymond Claiborne, out with a concussion. Not known if he'll return this afternoon. And there are some of the visual sentiments of the Buffalo Bills fans. They may be wearing the bags, but they are cheering at the right moment for them. Here's Bell again, hanging on for a short gain as McGrew is over to make the coverage along with Rodney McSwain, who is in for Raymond Claiborne. Baseball, the Mets trail by 1. St. Louis and the Expos are now tied. The Yankees hang on to that 3-0 lead over Baltimore. And Kansas City leading Minnesota with Toronto and Milwaukee tied up at 1.
I saw an interesting article on Greg Bell, and they asked him why he was so fast. And his mom said that when he was a young boy, he used to throw rocks at the big kids and then had to run home, and nobody ever caught him. So if that's what motivates you, I guess I'll have my kid out there throwing rocks and running home.
Self-teaching.
That's survival.
2nd down and 9. Ferragamo, first down to Andre Reed. And a penalty marker is back in the backfield. Out to the 45, enough for first down yardage, but we have to come back and sort out the penalty.
Well, the last time a holding call called that they're indicating here, and you see Ferragamo is objecting to it, and so is Jones, Ken Jones, number 72. But the last time they had a big fumble penalty like this, Ferragamo really answered the call. He came out, directed his team back in 2 downs. The big thing that you don't want to do here, because it's going to bring up 2nd down and about 20 yards, is to try to pick it all up at one play.
Number 72, offense through the face. Still 2nd down.
It was on Ken Jones, who's the starting left tackle. Justin Cross broke his arm last week in the game against the Jets. Justin from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. The Bills penalized 9 for 75, and at least 5 of those have been in key situations. They weren't just yardage penalties, they were emotional penalties as well.
Bob, great coach John Madden that coached me in Oakland used to say that 4 or 5 plays determine a game, and many times those are penalties, key penalties.
Bills facing a 2nd down and 19 at the 22. Ferragamo still with time, the Metzelars. Then they pick up about 7 with Blackman on the coverage. Clock continues to move, 10:36 to play, 4th quarter. Buffalo trails by 3 and now face a 3rd down and 13.
Well, we talked about the pressure that Kay Stevenson is under. There's a lot of pressure on this offensive team right here. They have to pick up about 13 yards to get the first down. The clock is running down. It's down to about 10 minutes, and every play becomes it's almost like every play becomes crucial. They have got to get out there, and they've got to get that first down. You can see 10 minutes on the clock.
Bills showing 4 wideouts. On 3rd and 13, going deep for Butler in a crowd, and it's incomplete. Fans hoping to catch a break with a penalty, but it was not to be. Pittsburgh defeating Houston 20-0. The Giants over the Cardinals 20-10. Phil Simms, touchdown pass of 20 yards. Atlanta, Dan Henning over Denver 28-27. Philadelphia scoring a touchdown, their first touchdown of 1985. And look at this one, Cincinnati and San Diego.
That's a real defensive struggle. How about New Orleans? First time that they've scored over 20 points.
On 4th down, Kidd to kick it away to Irving Fryer. Fryer at the 21. Cutting back and being dragged down. But Tony Eason runs out on the field with the Patriot offense, a punt of 51 yards and a return of 4 yards, 9:44 left in the 4th period. The Patriots lead it 17-14. Fans trying to carry the Bills on an emotional burst. First down, Patriots at the 25. Derek Ramsey with the catch to the 32. Charles Romes over to make the stop.
Well, there's a big decision on Raymond Berry's part here, whether to sit on this lead, to try to sit on a 3-point lead with over 9 minutes left, or to try and attack the offense, attack the defense. The big decision on that man's shoulders, but an interesting thing, he prepares a game every week, regardless of who he's playing, the same way. He prepares with the same intensity.
2nd and 4 at the 32. Greg James to about the 35. Smirlis and Darryl Talley on the twin tackles for Buffalo. I think he'll be a bit shy of the first down.
Well, he is going to be shy. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. Now, if you really wanted to have some guts, you'd throw a pass on this play because it may catch Buffalo quite off guard. But the safe thing to do is, of course, to run with one of your running backs, preferably Tony Collins, or, well, I guess Craig James is just as good in that situation. But that's the safe thing to do. Let's just see what happens here.
Third and 1. Tatupu, very close.
I believe he's got it.
Mosi Tatupu, who did not have a carry last week in the game against Chicago, his 2nd carry there of this afternoon. And they're going to bring it out, although it does appear from here that he has the first down. 8 minutes and 14 seconds remain, 4th quarter. The Patriots lead Buffalo 17-14.
It's interesting to see the direction that they ran over to Hanna and the Holloway. Of course, there's number 87 in there, Lynn Dawson, who's an excellent blocker. It's going to be close, but he made it by the length of a ball, at least.
You mentioned John Hanna, Dave, and of course there was some risk about playing John today, and he's apparently held up.
He certainly has held up. One thing that John does, and having played with him and played against him, he only knows one way to play this game, and that's full bore. He is all the time full speed. And some people questioned him coming in this game because they really thought the Patriots would handle quite easily the Buffalo Bills, but it hasn't proven out to be that way today.
First down for Tony Eason. Looking, firing. Ramsey at the 40. Man who had 66 catches last year, running out of the H-back formation. Of course, they have a new offense with 2 men in the backfield under Raymond Berry. And Ramsey will not get nearly the number of catches, but he is a valuable outlet.
And exactly so. And you mentioned the fact that this is the coaching staff of Raymond Berry and the coaching philosophy of Raymond Berry. He is throwing the ball safe passes, the short button hooks, and you can see the completion percentages there in the yards. Quite a difference, but the big stat is that the New England Patriots have a 3-point lead. But every pass that Eason has thrown has been a so-called safe pass. It's pretty much a non-interceptable one. 2nd and 6,
and chicanery by the Patriots with Tony Collins getting sandwiched at the 44. Frazier and Bayless doing an upper and lower on Tony Collins.
Well, sometimes you can break them back against the flow, in other words, against the grain, and you can be very successful. But there is a trailer on this play, and he's the one that's going to keep the ball in. You can see right there that James cuts it back. Now watch the hit he takes right here. He doesn't see the man from that side, and look at that hit. Boy, that'll separate the men from the boys.
3rd and 2.
Here's another
44. Another big 3rd down for the Patriots. Incomplete, intended for Derwin Williams. And apparently the Buffalo defense is held with 6:20 to play in the 4th quarter.
It's so important for your secondary to stay close, not to allow those wide receivers too much turning room. This is, again, everybody's doing what they call curl patterns. There's the ball trying to throw into the seam, but they're trying to throw safe and conservative pass. But look at the emotion there. You think that Gene Marv doesn't want to win this game? First week back, he's showing some emotion.
Has Buffalo played well enough to save Kay Stevenson's job if they do come up short?
I think they have today. They played very well. This is a good New England Patriots football team, and they played with emotion. I think if we're talked about them being a reflection of their coach when they're bad, they're the same reflection when they're good.
A New England bounce off the punt by Camarillo, hitting inside the 1 and bouncing back to the 7.
What a big play. A 49-yard punt, no return. And it's going to put Mr. Ferragamo deep in his own territory, and he'll have to drive it a long way to get a score.
This telecast presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. Quite a break for New England there on the football bounce to the 7-yard line.
That ball actually bounced on about the 4-yard line and just died right there. The momentum would usually carry it in there, but how are those for statistics? You just wouldn't think he'd be behind with 250 yards, over 250 yards passing.
But he is. 17-14. New England, 6:08 to play. Blocked at the line of scrimmage by number 90, Toby Williams.
Bob, when those defensive linemen put their arms up, they're all 6'5", 6'6". They're all very good, very tall players. When they put their arms up for that quarterback to throw through them, it's kind of like throwing out in the woods. It doesn't look like trees that are sticking up there. You can see the hand there right in Ferragamo's face by number 90, Toby Williams.
6:06 remaining, fourth period. Patriots by 3, 17-14. Bills with not much room to operate. 2nd and 10. They give it to Bell. And he's out across the 10 to the 11. Pickup of about 4. Again, Toby Williams making the stop for New England.
This is probably the biggest play in the game for the Buffalo Bills. They're faced with about a 3rd down and about 4 or 5 yards. They have got to pick up this first down. You can see the one game versus the Chargers. Look at there, 455 yards. There.
3rd and 5, so it's their biggest play so far, and they're over 300 yards today. Thrown too far for Andre Reed with Ronnie Lippert covering, so the Bills will have to punt from deep in their end zone.
And if you were a New England fan, that's exactly what you wanted your defense to do, to hold them deep in their own territory. They should get the ball back inside the 50-yard line. Of course, with the return to Fryer today, we don't know. He's returned very, very well, but they'll have excellent field position when they do, in fact, get the ball back.
Clock shows 5 minutes and 26 seconds left in the fourth period. The Patriots lead it 17-14. Irving Fryer has an 85-yard touchdown punt return to his credit and stands at his 43. Weak, wobbly kick, but takes a Buffalo bounce, crosses midfield, and the Patriots will have it 1st and 10 at their own 45. A 42-yard punt by Kidd, so you do think that the Bills have played well enough that Case Stevenson may live to coach another week.
Well, I think the jury should still be out on Case Stevenson. Every team is entitled to a bad game. There's too much up and down on this team. But they've come out here and they've played with emotion, and they played well. They haven't played well enough to win yet, but they have played well. They're playing a good football team too.
5:19 fourth quarter clock shows. Patriots first down at their own 45. Keeping it on the ground to Craig James to the 49. Haslett in on the tackle. We're estimating, Dave, how much revenue the Bills may have been cost by their lopsided loss to the Jets last week in the Meadowlands, which was televised back here to Buffalo. And Buffalo officials feel that maybe 20,000 fans more might have been here had the game been closer. Multiply that by $20 per fan with concessions and parking and ticket, and you're talking almost $400,000.
More money than I can count, that's for sure.
Robert Weathers keeping it on the ground. And it's obviously what Ray Barry, what his strategy is here.
Yes, with 4.5 minutes left, you've got to keep it on the ground here. If you pick up a first down, if they pick up the first down and they're able to run 3 more downs, they should have it down under 3 minutes. So it's really an important play here for them. It's 3rd down and about 3 yards. They're going to go right back to what they do well, and they've run well behind. Whatever success they've had today has been run behind Holloway and Hannah.
3rd and 3, and this crowd exhorting the Buffalo Bill defense to hold. First down, Robert Weathers, as he cracks over right tackle behind Pete Brock, Ron Wooten, and Steve Moore. Clock continues to roll with 3:44 left. Patriots lead at 17-14.
Well, here come 3 more runs. Now becomes the important time to when do you start calling timeouts. Each team, of course, has 3 timeouts, and you have to utilize them very carefully here. If they get down near the 2-minute warning, and I guarantee you, Easton is not going to put that ball up in the air.
He's got Weathers and Tutupu behind him, and this is Weathers looking to get outside, and does for about 7 yards. But he also is out of bounds with a little mix-up over by the Patriot bench.
Well, there's a lot of heads in there. They're playing hard. There's Sims in there. Of course, number 77, but they were upset about the late hit, what they thought was a late hit out of bounds.
Defensive coordinator Rod Rust.
Romes wants to get in it with Don Shinnick. I can't believe that. Shinbones, what are you doing? He's too old to fight anymore.
The clock is stopped with the out-of-bounds play. 3:17 remaining. There's Rod Rust with the headset on.
I think he may have taken a shot on that play also. He looks like he's trying to gather his composure. You can see it as they go out of bounds here. He's just about out of bounds there. They drive him. Yes, I think he's up there cheering, and Rod Rust was evidently hit.
2nd and 2. And Craig James looking to turn it inside and apparently having first down yardage. Sean McNanny to make the stop for Buffalo, staying in bounds, and the clock continues to roll with 3:03 left.
One advantage that the New England has right now is they know exactly how much time is on that 30-second clock, and they're going to use that 30-second clock to its fullest.
Dallas leading the Browns, the Giants comfortably ahead of St. Louis. Denver coming back to take the lead over Atlanta, 34-28. The Eagles finally scoring a touchdown, but beating the Redskins in the 4th period. And this one's still going on in some other planet. 1st and 10, Patriots 32. 2.5 minutes left. James breaks it for big yardage, but a flag is thrown.
That's probably going to be an inadvertent 5-yard face mask. The defensive lineman came through and reached out and looked as if he grabbed the face mask of Craig James.
And the Patriots able to come up with the running game when they've had to do it, David, in the closing minutes of the 4th quarter.
They have. They've driven it well. But look at the watch, see if you can see the face mask right here when he cuts back. There's the arm.
Number
you can't
76.
see. Yeah, it's number 76, Fred Smerlis. It's just a 5-yard penalty because it's what they call the inadvertent face mask. It's just not an intentional face mask penalty.
Smerlis out of Boston College in Waltham, Massachusetts, has been the object of some boos here this afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd take him on my team. He's a very good player. He's played exceptional.
4 Pro Bowls.
He's a good one. As they say back in Asheboro, North Carolina, he's a good one.
There's 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, and the Bills quickly call a timeout.
Well, they've called the timeout to utilize the second timeout will be when the 2-minute warning comes, so they'll be able to get a free timeout. But you pointed out the fact that New England has driven the ball on the ground. They've driven it from their own 45-yard line now. They've driven it all the way down inside the 20. And they've been able to control the clock. And it's going to be Katie bar the door if the Buffalo Bills do not, in fact, stop the running game of the Patriots.
They can't do much unless they get their hands on the football at this particular point. 2:08 left to play. Atlanta comes roaring back, 41-34. That one's changed hands about 5 times.
That is a defensive struggle, too. You can really tell them right off.
75 points in that game. There was 68 points in the Cincinnati-San Diego game. And, of course, immediately following this game on the Budweiser NFL Report, we'll update you on all the scores and the highlights as they become available to us.
The way some of these games are going today, those fellows better have their pencils sharp because I saw one score was, 34-34, the Cincinnati-San Diego game. And there's been a lot of points scored today.
Okay, is K okay? Time will tell on this one. This will be a tough call. Let's take a look at who they have to face next week. Raiders are in Sullivan Stadium. The game is sold out. And the Buffalo Bills will be here. Excellent defensive play by Don Smith. Stuffing Robert Wayne to 14 over Buffalo. 2 minutes left. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the end. It's 3rd and 5 at the 10. Mosi Tatupu off a hole and spinning for a first down. Big first down pickup by the Patriots.
You called it. That is a big, big first down by Mosi Tatupu. The Patriots have had to drive the ball, and you can just get the feeling that Buffalo was not able to stop them on the run. They've driven the ball from their own 45-yard line, primarily on the ground. Buffalo has used up most of their timeouts. There's only 1:29 left. Unless something comes up that they got no timeouts left, so Easton should just run the clock out now.
And many of the Buffalo fans heading toward the exits with that first down pickup by Mosi Tatupu. 1:29 left. The Patriots lead it 17-14. New England broke out on top with a 32-yard field goal by Tony Franklin. Then the Bills came back, a 16-yard touchdown pass from Vince Ferragamo to Greg Bell. Patriots come back, a 5-yard pass from Craig James to Tony Collins. Then the punt return, an 85-yarder, a gem by Irving Fryer, the second longest punt return in Patriot history. And then the 18-yard pass from to Andre Reed from Vince Ferragamo. We just took a look at the early games on the NFL 85 doubleheader, and here are the late games for your viewing pleasure next week. Many of you will see the Raiders and the Patriots. And in the second half, will it be Dan Marino and the Dolphins and the Broncos? Check your local listings for the games. Kickoff with NBC Sports. First and goal, and Easton just falls down, and the clock will continue to run because the Buffalo Bills can do nothing to stop it.
Well, it could be a questionable move, but because of the points for the playoff, you have to beat teams by so many points in order if there's tiebreakers. But right now, Raymond Berry wants to get out of here with a win. He's played a team that's been very fired up. They've played extremely well today, meaning the Buffalo team, but of course so has the New England Patriots.
Well, a dark cloud continues to hover over the Buffalo Bills. They've been penalized 10 times today for 80 yards. Last week was 14 times, but a number of these 10 penalties were crucial in crucial situations. Certainly the one, as Easton just sits down, certainly the one that allowed, forced John Kidd to punt a second time to Irving Fryer, which he returned for 85 yards, probably was the big penalty of the afternoon.
That was the big penalty. That ended up being an 85-yard penalty. It cost them 7 points. And that really was the whole ball game. That was the determining thing in the ball game. That was 7 points, and if they had that 7 points back, it'd be a 14-10 Bills win.
The New England Patriots have extended their winning streak over the Buffalo Bills to 6 games.